All right, well, our speaker today is Miss Vicki Robb. She comes to us by way of Neil Davidson. She's been kind enough to take some time out of her schedule to come talk to us about PR in the 21st century. She is a former Rotarian from Tyson's, and, well, you know what that means. Anyway, Vicki?
Temptation to want a Bloody Mary or something. Well, anyway, I'm here to talk to you today about public relations in the 21st century and give you some tips and ideas about what you might need to know and some roadmaps to take if you have a business or know someone that does. But first of all, I want to ask everybody, is there anybody here that's in public relations that okay, well, I just wanted to find out. First, I wanted to give you a definition of what public relations is, a modern definition, and that's basically it's being able to communicate with the right targets, with the right message at the right time. It's very simple, but that's basically what it is. And nowadays, there's so many different ways to communicate than there used to be. It used to be just newsletters and newspaper and radio and TV. Now we've got Facebook and Twitter and all these other methods of social communications. So you have to figure out, well, now what do I do? How do I wade through all this? So I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but I'm going to tell one story. I was, back in the day, I was in the Carter White House, and I worked in the First Lady's press office. So I got to know all the Carter family, and we were always busy trying to keep Mrs. Carter's name out there in a good way, which was easy, but she was a great First Lady. But the daughter, Amy, who was at the time about 12 years old, I don't know if you remember Amy Carter.
Oh, yes.
Some of you might. Well, she had a friend from California to come visit her, and the little girl came during Christmas time, and so the girl goes back to California, the little girl goes back, and then the next day we see across the front page of the LA Times this big headline that Amy Carter wants a chainsaw for Christmas. We were going, what? What has she done now? You know, because everybody was thinking, she's kind of weird anyway, but why would she want a chainsaw? And then we had Black & Decker and all these chainsaw manufacturers sending chainsaws to the White House gift office with big red bows. I mean, it was hysterical. So I found out later that what she really said was that she wanted a train set for Christmas. So you see how things can get messed up and how things can get misreported in the media, and you have to be very careful. And so I just throw that out as a story about what can happen when you don't communicate properly, correctly, clearly. So that's one thing that would have been really, I mean, it would have gone crazy if we'd had Facebook and Twitter, I can imagine all the pictures that would have been going along those channels. So I want to talk just a few minutes about developing a plan and managing your reputation. Many of you all in some sort of business or professional service, there's always a need to communicate and communicate to your audiences. And to do that, you need to have a plan. And the plan that you need to have starts with the answering of basic questions. For example, the first thing would be your targets. Anybody want to give any ideas of what might be a target that, for example, your own company, what would that might be? Who would some of your targets be? Anybody want to throw out a guess?
New customer.
Yeah.
We work on quality health measures, and so if we were developing those measures would be our customers.
Yes, okay. You had something, Howard?
People with money, new customers.
Yes, new customers, always wanting new customers. also can be even fine-tuned. Is it just a certain age group, or is it a certain gender? Is it high school kids? Is it, there are different ways you can identify your focus. And you can also go further than that and think about maybe some other stakeholders that you might have. Current and former employees, the media, your vendors, maybe there's some government officials, regulatory agencies, your suppliers, maybe some government agencies. And anyway, your audiences, no matter who they are, no matter how big they are, they have the power to communicate about your company. So you really, again, want to have a PR plan in place, even to handle the situations where maybe some not so good news would come out. You still want to be thinking about the same kind of things. Then you want to think about your objectives. What do you want to accomplish? Do you want to get better known about? Do you want to develop a profile, a higher profile, and you have credible articles written about you so that it will help enhance your business, maybe help, if you're an organization, it might help fundraising. If you have some really good media coverage, you might find that people that would fund you are more likely because you're a known quantity. And you have that third-party endorsement in the media, which is also very helpful. And again, establishing you as an authority, raising your reputation and profile, and getting your name out there. And then there's your messages. What message? If Rotary had to communicate a message, if this club wanted to get a PR plan, what would the message be? Anybody want to think about what your message? If you were to see a headline in the paper tomorrow, a local paper about this club, what would you like to have that message be? A key message about your club. Anybody think about? Yeah.
You could have a message about Rotary funding scholarships for local students at Wakefield High School, because we're about to award 5 scholarships.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, Rotary is giving scholarships, and it's very community service oriented. Rotary gives back. Rotary helps. And those are the kind of things that people need to know about. And then you follow up with exactly what you've done. Then, positioning. How would you want to position your Rotary Club, for example, or your own business? Do you want to say that you're the least expensive tax provider, or the most expensive but highest quality? Or maybe if you're talking about the Rotary Club, how do you want to position this club? As a club that gets things done amidst all kind of obstacles, or they're the leanest club but the most effective club, or the biggest club and the most generous club? What are some of the things that you would think of if you wanted to position your club vis-a-vis other clubs, for example, or your business? And then your strategy. How is it you want to accomplish it? Do you want to go after these certain target groups? How do you want to? What is your? Think of a strategy to do that. You want to create certain impressions and make that your objective. And then your tactics. Your tactics would be the things that you do, like maybe sending newsletters, maybe going around to visit other clubs or visit your potential customers. Maybe it would be speeches. Maybe it would be sending press releases and trying to get press coverage. Maybe it would be launching a Facebook fan page. Maybe it would be developing a Twitter. There's all kind of different tactics that you can use, again, to get out there, to get your name out there. And again, it's really important to manage your reputation as well, in case the unexpected kind of thing happens. Maybe something in your business, maybe your partner is a scoundrel and makes off with all the money. Maybe there's a bad fire and people are hurt. Maybe there's some big layoff. So what do you do to manage your reputation during those times? So we're going to be talking about now for a couple of minutes. Can you think of anybody in the news recently that has had some unexpected things to happen and their reputation got a little smeared? Everybody's laughing. Besides him. Think of some others this past year that...
Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett. Okay. Good thinking.
Steve Jobs, there keeps being a lot of sort of background noise about his health.
Right. How about our friend Blagojevich? He's still out there blabbing. And he needs to manage his reputation and shut up. Well, we've had the Toyota recall, the BP recall, Glenn Beck, Martin Sheen. Think of any others that come to mind? Besides the illustrious congressman from New York. By the way, anybody want to give a thought about how you would have advised him when the whole thing started, what you would have told him in hindsight to do? The Congressman Weiner? What would you have told him if you had been his PR consultant? Anybody want to take a guess?
Tell the truth in the first place.
Tell the truth in the first place. Tell the truth, come out, make a statement, tell the truth, be responsive to the reporters, make one statement, if you have a press conference, make one statement, tell the truth, and then move on. Even if he had been innocent, it would have been much better if he had just, said unequivocally at the very beginning, I did not do it, and I want to have this one meeting with the press, and that's it. Because what happened is he created such a circus that no matter what happened, whether he was right or whether he did or didn't do it, it was still a mess. But he would have been better off if he had just tell the truth right off the bat and then let that be it. So that's a good lesson for all of us, is to be thinking about how we would plan if something not like that, but something bad, hopefully not, something negative happened to your company or to your president. Be thinking about what your message would be, who your targets are, how you would communicate. You also want to include your employees in the plan. Make sure the employees had it in stone too. So what are some of the ingredients for bad reputations, damaging? What do you have to do? You have to do bad stuff. Anybody want to make any comments about what else you have to do to make a bad reputation?
Well, sometimes, I just think a lot about countries like Japan, for instance, or any number of different countries in Northern Africa or the Middle East right now that depend upon a lot of tourists coming to their countries in order to feed into their economy, and natural disasters and public unrest, whatever it is, violence within the country, trying to figure out, first of all, how do we solve that problem or deal with that and make sure everybody is okay, and then how do we bring people back? How do we get them to trust that they're going to be safe, that there's going to be something for them to come visit and that sort of thing? I mean, it's obviously much larger scale, but countries need PR as much as
That's true. I
any
mean, a lot of
business.
them do hire PR firms to do just those kind of things. Find out what the misconceptions are, what the correct perceptions are, and then to correct, do little, surveys and things first to find out exactly what people are thinking, and then launch a campaign to bring people back based on what they're afraid of. Anybody else want to comment on what's some things you can do that will damage your reputation? About acting irresponsibly or not telling the truth. Anybody else want to throw out any other?
doing business with the wrong people.
Yeah, in business with the wrong
Sometimes it's
people.
not you, it's the people that you
Yeah.
make a decision to get involved with, and they become a problem.
Right, and in this economy, in this society, when you do something like that, you know how it blows up. So many
Yeah.
different ways, you know, to get the information out there. And you had something?
Yeah, I was gonna say that, we all have shortcomings and everyone makes mistakes, but where I've seen it handled to me appropriately or inappropriately is the folks that immediately come out, show ownership for it, admit that they're human and make mistakes. Like with Letterman, who did it was a 10-minute conversation versus like Tiger Woods who tried to hide it and try to be the persona that was perfect. It was a 6-month conversation. And to me, that's the big difference of, similar, you just need to own it and move faster.
Why do you suppose people don't do that? I mean, Clinton went down that
Maybe they don't want
road.
to
So many
disappoint
people.
people. Maybe they're buying into the fact that they're perfect. I don't know, but it's gonna come out. It's best if you get in front of it, and that way you can kind of,
Frame the issue.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're
in charge.
control of the message versus it's being done to you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I just think that that's not all a person does. If they do something incorrectly or dishonestly, that's just one of a few. So if you try to hide something, you can't really, witnesses and we all know.
Right. 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 Yeah.
When my grandson was 4, there was something in the living room that was broken, and he said, "I did it myself." Now, it's always his sister who did it. So it's like the inclination to cover up happened very
Very
soon
young.
after he was 4. Because I don't know whether he started suffering the consequences and that they were not pretty. So I think there's a lot of self-defense that's built in, and I think that there are things that can stack up and that we're not even aware.
Right.
That we've built this floor on the, let's say, the 3rd floor over no
Right.
support,
Yeah.
and it's gonna crash, and we may be
Right.
surprised.
And sometimes you don't think it's ever going to come out. I mean, how in the world would anybody ever find that out about me? I'm going to deny it. They just think that they're invulnerable, that they can't be hurt. They're just so powerful and, whatnot. But, it's another problem. So again, if you fail to tell the truth, and another thing is showing no remorse. But doesn't that get your goat when you see these people that BP? I want my life back. I want to go sailing. I don't want to deal with this. All these, people's lives are being ruined, and he shows no remorse. How about a little mea culpa? It go a long way. So I want to bring it back then to where we started, the 21st century and the PR. So it's important to get your message out, to have your PR plan, and also to have that plan to use similar tactics, developing your message, your objectives, your targets, have it all ready in case something does happen to your company. You never know what's coming down the road. I know I was working with an organization once, and a bad article came out about our organization. We never thought that would ever happen, and so we had to employ, I planned in advance a crisis communications strategy, and that would involve first going to the board and getting their input and providing information to them before we did anything else. Sort of going through a chain of command, so to speak. And if I hadn't had that, then I would have floundered and done the wrong thing probably. But it's good to at least think these things through. So maybe when you get back to your office today, you'll sit down and think about, well, now what kind of things would I do? What if something bad happened, or one of our employees did something, sent a bad Twitter or something like that? Because there's always a chance that something's going to happen, and you don't want to have something like what happened to Amy Carter, and something completely crazy come out about you. So. This is my lesson in PR. If anybody wants to get, I've got a little tip sheet on how to develop a PR plan. It's a little bit more in depth. If you want to give me your card, I'll be happy to email you the information. But does anybody have any questions? thoughts or you want to comment? Yeah.
What should have been handled differently? In Amy Carter's case, I'm not sure.
Well, that's true. Nothing could have really,
Yeah.
there was nothing that